Here we go.
Okay, so this is the eye. We're going to start with our friend, the cornea here. And so light enters the eye in the cornea, which bends the light to focus and acts as a protector of the eye. And it's kind of like sunglasses, you know, it like makes everything like darker and also like protects your eye. And then we have our friend, the pupil, right there. So that's how when light gets into the pupil, it allows the light to come into the eye and whatnot. It's like the roof on a convertible car, you know. It can like be opened, and it can be opened by the iris, which controls the pupil and controls how much light gets into the eye. And it's like the machine that controls the sky roof thing on a convertible. And then we have the lens, which focuses light rays in the process of accommodation, which is where the lens bends to focus close or far objects and projects them into the retina. This is our retina. And it's a thin surface at the back of the eyeball. It's the most important part of the eye, and it turns light into neural impulses. And then within the retina, we have our bipolar cells, which, well, first I'll talk about the rods and the cones and the fovea. The fovea is right here, which is a little indent in the in which there are rods and cones. And the cones are photoreceptors that detect fine detail, and the rods are photoreceptors that detect like black, white, and gray. And the fovea is where our visual sharpness is the highest. And then next we have the bipolar cells, which are cells in the retina that connect and transmit information from the rods and cones to the optic nerve. And then we have the ganglion cells, which receive information from the bipolar cells and transmit it to the brain.
Cool.
Okay, so, wait, just one more time. Where are the feature detectors?
They're these cells.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Alrighty.
So this is the blind spot of the eye, and it's a small depression in the center of the retina where the visual acuity is the highest.
Oh, that's the fovea.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm reading them.
Good point out. That's
Sorry.
cool.
It's the point at which the optic nerve leaves the eye, creating a blind spot where
Yeah,
its
yeah.
receptors are located
You're
there.
good.
These are the feature detector cells,
You're just in the cerebral
and
cortex.
they are,
Yeah,
and
sorry.
they are the neurons in the brain that respond to specific features of the stimulus, just such as shape, angle, and movement. This is the occipital lobe, and that processes all of the visual information, and then this is the visual cortex, which processes all the information from the eye.
Alright, and then we have the thalamus, which is that little thing in the middle here. And that, it's like the midbrain control center where all sensory info goes to, except smell. Then we have the optic chiasm. It's, assuming there was like another eye right here, it would be the point where the, it would be the crossover point between optic nerve fibers in the brain. And then, basically it's not listed here, but the trichromatic theory we have to include, and that is the theory that the retina contains 3 different color receptors that are red, green, and blue, which can produce any color when stimulated in combination. And then there's the opponent process theory that states that opposing retinal processes such as like red, green, yellow, blue, white, black enable color vision